Two buyer's agents. Okay.
Yeah, and an
And are
admin.
they in an admin? Okay. And how many deals are you doing a year currently?
This year we'll approach 100. We're at like
100.
62 right now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
So, for everybody just jumping on, this is Morgan Franklin. Morgan, where are you out of, by the way?
I'm in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky, and we are known for our bourbon and our horses.
That's a good place or a good thing to be known for.
Been worse things.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick introduction on yourself and everybody who's watching, if you're watching live, please drop the comment #live. If you're watching the replay, drop the comment #replay and let us know you're enjoying it. If you have any questions, also post those in the comments so that we can ask those to Morgan and we'll get moving. So, yeah.
So, like I mentioned, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and I got into real estate late 2014. I spent a decade in corporate finance before I realized that that was a terrible thing to do, staring at spreadsheets all day. Got into real estate 2014, and I was working. I worked for Xerox in a work from home position, which meant that I was driving around in my truck with my laptop open and in the middle of a conference call trying to go between real estate appointments. And so 2014 wasn't a great year. 2015, I was just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2016, I really got serious about video.
Okay.
And then, and the first 9 months of 2016, I sold $1.5 million worth of real estate in the first 9 months. And then I challenged myself to make 30 videos in 30 days. So you can go back to my YouTube channel and check it all out. But September 1st to September 30th, I uploaded a video every single day. And the following 45 days, I sold 1.7 million. And then, it skyrocketed from there.
Wow. I mean, that's
So 24 months.
Yeah. So with the 30-day, I mean, it was almost like a 30-day video challenge that you did, right?
It's like the whole 30, just, videos.
Okay. And so, like, what were some of the rules that you set for yourself? Like, did they have to be a certain length? Did you have to talk about a certain topic?
The main thing I've learned is, if you spend a ton of time trying to perfect a script or perfect the video,
Mhm.
I've learned that the majority of the time I just use this phone that I'm talking to you on right now to shoot a lot of my videos. And so my wife's a wedding photographer, and I've got fancy DSLRs and lighting equipment and sliders and tripods and all of this wonderful crap and drones, and I never use it because I use the camera that's closest to me, and that's usually my iPhone.
That's
So
awesome.
there's absolutely the only rule is always be uploading.
Always be uploading. Okay, I
Always
like
be uploading to always be closing.
that. I like that. So, what kind of content were you putting out during those 30 days?
During the 30-day challenge, it was a mixture. So there were some really cool videos. There was a lot of listing videos. That's kind of like my crutch.
Mhm.
When I don't have an idea or whatever, I'll just go make a listing video. And here's the best part: when I was making videos for listings, I sold like 3 listings a year up until that point. And so I would just call on other agents in my office, or I call agents outside my office if they had a really unique listing, get permission from their broker, and go make a free video about their listing.
Mhm.
Um, and so listing videos were the lion's share back then. But then that month I ran a bounce house 5K. So it's a 5K out in the field, and there's a bunch of bounce houses and slides in the middle of it. It has absolutely jack shit to do with real estate, but it got
Okay.
all kinds of engagement, and it let people see who I was.
Mhm.
There was a listing video. House had a grass landing strip, like an FA and airstrip, and
Okay.
so I went and hired a private plane, and we flew from the local airport over to the grass strip and made it look like we were going in. There was an opening of a restaurant that did phenomenally well. And the thing that I've learned is, while, yeah, listing videos are important because it reminds people that, hey, I'm a real estate agent, the
Mhm.
things that have the most success are the, local interests. I mean,
Okay.
we just had a new bike share program pilot in my city, and it was the dumbest video ever. It was about orange bikes in town, and it got over 100 shares, just all organic,
So
very little ad spend.
say that again. It was.
So we had bike shares. So like, if you ever been to New York City and you've seen the city bikes,
Oh yeah, city bikes. Yep.
yeah, it's like a city bike, only they don't have a little docking station. So it had
Hmm.
absolutely nothing to do with real estate whatsoever. It was a completely ridiculous video as far as like my ultimate goal of finding real estate business. But what it did is it allowed me to provide value to my audience and get them to know, like, and trust me. And because of that, I got them into my retarget audience, and then I beat them over the head with about two or three other videos, and it turned into two buyer clients in a matter of, I don't know, 10 days, 2 weeks after that video.
Wow. Okay. Now with your retarget audience, how big is that audience?
About 30,000.
About
Um,
30,000. Okay.
so my local market is somewhere between 350 and 450,000 people, depending on how wide you want to go with the geography of it.
Hmm.
And so I have found that if my audience gets too slim and I'm not, if I haven't been putting out enough content, I'm not getting enough new people into the retarget. Once I get down to about 15,000, my cost per action, cost per view, whatever you want it to be, just starts to creep up. And
Okay.
then once I get above about 35,000, my frequency number starts to go down and I'm not getting the saturation that I'm going for, because my goal is I want to have my reach be every single person in my retarget. Every time I make a video, I want them to at least see it. They may not watch 3 seconds of it, but I want them to see my face at least 3 times a week.
Your goal is that the reach matches the audience size. Okay.
To be one.
Okay. And when you do that, I mean, how much are you spending to hit 30,000 people with like a video?
Between 50 and $100.
Between 50 and $100.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so that all comes down to, if a video has a relevance score of less than 8, I stop. It's trash.
Yeah.
It's just not going to perform well. And so if I don't hit an 8, I'll throw $20 at it to get some data, see how it performs, and
Mhm.
then if we get an 8, we'll keep going. If we get a 9 or a 10, I mean, I will literally just go grab shovels of money and dump it on the fire.
Right. Okay. So you're 50 to 100, as long as you're an 8 to 10, you're going to be covering your whole audience for the most part. Okay. And when you're doing this, I mean, tell me a little bit more about how you're using content like we mentioned to actually bring in buyers and sellers, because from what you're talking about, it has nothing to do with real estate.
I I try and do more personal stuff
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to real estate stuff. I usually, because listing videos is the easiest thing to do in the face of the earth, and
And you know what?
so
Before we jump into that, as long as you're saying listing videos are the easiest thing to do in the world or on the face of the earth, how would somebody go do a listing video today if they wanted to just jump into this?
well, anybody that's watching this video right now has probably got a smartphone. Honestly, the new Samsung phones, the camera on is unbelievably good. But if you got an iPhone, you've got an Android, any kind of smartphone, it's got a camera on it with video capabilities. You can go make this video right now. A lot of people, your iPhone has already come with iMovie. I also like Adobe Premiere Clip. There's a tons of different apps you can go out there and make that video. And so you walk into the house, a pan is when you go left, right. Tilt's when you go up, down. A slide is when you go like this, and you slide into the room. You
Mm-hmm.
grab a mixture of shots throughout the house, and then you cut them into something entertaining. And I try and keep it 2 to 3 minutes, including my speaking time. Or if you really want to be efficient, you can just make a 1 minute cut and publish it across all platforms.
Okay.
Um, so, you know, it's something you can do right now very, very easily.
Okay. And this would be for your listing, or are you going in booking showings on houses that you think are awesome and then just doing it there?
I've done more listing videos of other people's listings than I have mine,
Mm-hmm.
because, let's just say you've got some super boring house that's not going to get a ton of views.
Right.
But if you've got a flip house that's got some really sexy kitchen or a cool tile shower, that's going to get a lot of views. And so, another tip is the first 5 seconds are what matter. You know,
Okay.
you you've got to you've got to capture them, and even in like the first 2 seconds, like if my number one pet peeve on listing videos is people start out in the front yard and they spend 30 seconds on the outside of the house that nobody cares.
Right.
So, like if you watch any of my videos, I've got a 10-second highlight reel. So
Hmm.
I show you the absolute best parts of the house in the first 10 to 15 seconds. Then I come in, introduce the house, and I have my call to action, which is, click the link in the description below to go check out this house right now if you don't want to watch the rest of the video. And a lot of times people don't want to watch 2 or 3 minutes of a video, and they'll click through to go look at pictures, and it's something that they can control. And so
Okay.
I'll send them over to a website, and give them a lead capture. And then I'll show them the rest of the video, and then I close it out, thank them for watching, and then give them the CTA again, and then roll my logo at the end. People that spend 20, 30 seconds on the outside of the house, or they roll their own logo at the beginning of the video, like, guess what? Nobody gives a shit about your logo. Nobody cares about your brand. We want, like, entertain me. And then if I've watched 2 or 3 minutes of it and you've entertained me and you deserve the right to have me, then you can show me your logo, or at least just put it down in the bottom corner. Just don't
Mhm.
be that guy.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And I've got a couple of questions here. What aspect ratio do you use?
4:3 for most of it, 9:16 for IGTV, but
And this,
go
my,
wide.
my wife is a video editor, and she's the one asking. So maybe you can clarify what you're talking about when you say the aspect ratio is 4:3 or whatnot. For those who don't know, does that mean basically tilting your phone this way or this way?
This is 4:3,
Hmm.
okay, and this is 9/16,
Okay.
or 1920 by 1080, or 720. 1920 by 1080 would be horizontal, and then 720 by 1280 would be vertical.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And most of your stuff right now is going vertical or horizontal. Nope, you didn't come through there. What was that? Oh, I lost your sound for a second here. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. All right, there we go.
We'll just have to go with the speaker. So my wife washed my AirPods. I left them in a shirt pocket, and
Yep.
she washed them a couple weeks ago, and like the microphone has not been that great. And I
Oh
can
no.
literally hear a cricket right now.
Yeah, I hear that all the time from people that I'm on the phone with. They'll be like, "I hear a cricket." I'm like, "I don't know where the thing is. I can't find it." But there's like one cricket that just haunts this place.
But back to the vertical versus horizontal.
Hmm.
So I like to shoot horizontal because that's what I shoot a lot of my stuff on a DSLR.
Hmm.
And B, my biggest platforms are YouTube and Facebook. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie, I really suck at Instagram. It's just not something that I need to get better at it. It's a place where I want to be, just because that's where my audience really is, and that's a demographic I need to be focusing on. And I make a lot of Instagram stories, but I don't make curated IG content, and I'm especially not making IGTV content as deep as I should, just because I
Okay.
know that Facebook and YouTube work.
Yeah, so you're not doing like the square video then for Instagram stuff.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. And Lynn says, she says, why not hire, or she says, or hire a pro and focus on selling and lead generating to make more money. Have you thought about hiring a pro to do your video stuff? And is that something that you're looking at in the future?
So I do have an editor,
Hmm.
but if you were just going to do listing videos, yeah, you can outsource that. But you know, I am the content, and so it's not a big deal to my camera goes with me everywhere. I used to carry a fancy leather briefcase and look the part of the big fancy realtor, and now I carry a backpack that has a laptop, a DSLR, a couple lenses, and a drone in it, because I'm ready to stop, drop, and film at any second in time. And
Okay.
so I have found that my skill set is I'm better at making videos and marketing real estate than I am at selling it. And so I can take those leads and give them to a buyer's agent.
Hmm.
And I still handle all my listings. Um, but, you know, that's my secret sauce, is
Okay.
creating the video and drawing in the audience. Um, and then I outsource the stuff that I would get paid a lower hourly wage for.
Okay, that makes sense. And like, where do you outsource that to? Is that like Fiverr, or do you have somebody local, or what are you doing in order to outsource the little things? And I guess would that be like the editing, or like throwing a logo at the end, or?
So editing, I've got a guy here locally that I work with. He's a videographer,
Mm-hmm.
and he works for a TV station, and I've got him on
Good
a
guy to
flat
have.
hourly rate. I have tried, like, so I had this great business idea where I was going to train people how to shoot a listing video, and then I was
Mm-hmm.
going to outsource the editing to Fiverr or Odesk or Upwork or whatever the hell it's called now.
Yeah.
And I tried that, and it was just an epic disaster because unless you give them an exact example video,
Okay.
or you give them explicit instructions, and in that amount of time, you could have just edited the thing yourself. It just worked. It was easier for me to either edit it, but eventually I found a guy here locally. He understands what I'm looking for. We've done, I don't know, probably 50 or 60 videos together. And so I'll still edit a couple videos a week of my own.
Okay.
But, if I'm in the weeds and I've got, 15 showings and a bunch of contracts to deal with, then I'll pass it off to him.
Okay. Now, are you doing anything with drones?
Yep.
Okay. And I guess I've got a couple of questions coming in. Do you need an FAA license to do drone video?
Yes, you do.
Okay. And how hard is that to achieve?
I wouldn't know.
So legally you're required, otherwise there's fines and whatnot. But,
all right. So I took the at-home study course, but I have not gotten my license yet.
Okay.
But as long as you're not using a drone for a commercial purpose, you don't have to have a license.
Okay.
So my argument is, if I'm not making a listing video, then I am, not doing it for a commercial purpose. This is just for my vlog, and I enjoy making videos on the internet.
Okay.
But this summer I'm going to sit down and take the test. I mean, I've taken the class. I've got the prerequisites. It's just a matter of sitting down and finding the time to, schedule and take the exam.
That makes sense. So it's one of those, like, right now it just hasn't been required because you haven't gotten any trouble yet or anything like that. And honestly, it's a pain to go out and do it, right?
Yeah, and another thing is, like, drones really aren't that helpful to your videos. I mean, unless you've got some magnificent property that's got hundreds of acres, or it's got some unbelievable swimming pool, or it backs to a green space, and I actually had this discussion with another agent in my market who was so pumped. He just got his drone, and he's flying it all over the place, and he's doing like Facebook Lives from his drone. And he was asking, like, how should I use this thing? I'm like, I mean, drone's a cool tool, like, but knowing what I know now, like looking, because I've got a spreadsheet and I take a look at, the performance of every single video that I ever do to say, okay, what's working, what's not. And the drone videos never really helped unless it's like a local video. And I'm using the drone to like set the scene of, hey, I'm in this part of town, or it was a big farm listing, being out here in horse country, we have those.
Right.
But I just don't find drones to be that great for increasing the watchability or the engagement of a video. Honestly, I think a lot of people focus on drones too much, and it actually hurts the engagement they get.
Makes sense. So you're actually tracking all of this in a sheet.
Oh,
now, is this a sheet that you're able to like share a format of?
So you can export. I mean, all I'm doing is just exporting the data. Instead of using Facebook's dashboard, you can go up in the top right on your Facebook business page when you're looking at your ads, and you can hit export data. And so instead of having to split like columns by like performance and clicks and engagement and video views and stuff like that, you can get it all in one big sheet by exporting all data.
Okay.
And so I just take that, and that way I've got every single video. And I just freeze frame on cell, I guess it would be B2. So that way you've got your video name or post name on the far left, and then all your data. And so that way you can look up and down, and then you can sort it by, what was my cost per action? What was my cost per click? What was my cost per view? What was my average time watched? And so,
Right.
and that's something that I still haven't figured out. You would anticipate that or expect that cost per view and time watched would be positively linearly associated, but a lot of
Not quite.
time my cheapest views will have like a 30-second watch time, and then my
Mhm.
more expensive views, but we had a ton of people that watched it, and so it just I still haven't figured out what really makes it tick. What's Facebook looking for? Because it's not a 3-second view and it's not a 3-minute view, but I haven't been able to look at my data and hone in and create that nice little bell curve and kind of correlate the two. I guess that would be an regression, R
Mhm.
squared value maybe of the two data point. I don't
We're
know.
getting, we're getting way too tacky for me.
Yeah. So I haven't dug into that, but I do know that I can look and see.
And you export that from, was it YouTube?
No, so if you go to your Facebook Business Manager,
Okay.
click on Business Manager, and then it gives you the ad account, or it gives you go to your manage your page, click
Mhm.
into there like you were going to make a new ad, and then it
Oh,
gives you your
okay.
ads dashboard. And before you click create new ad, you go up in the top right corner, and if I had my laptop in front of me, I would show you.
Right.
But you can all those columns and the ad performance that you can see in Ads Manager, you can export to a CSV, and then I don't know, spending a decade as a spreadsheet nerd, I just work better with a spreadsheet than I do
Right.
with Facebook's dashboard.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And now that you say you're moving the Facebook data into a spreadsheet, I'm following you here now.
Yeah.
So now somebody said the videos are commercial technically. Yeah, they probably are technically commercial. Now, for those anybody else who's doing it, I mean, we recommend that you do get your license. You do get your certification, whatever you have to do in order to do it. But we're being real here, and that's the situation that we're currently using. And
and the thing is, like I said, I don't even use my drone.
Right.
And I've got a mountain of stock footage from stuff I've either shot earlier or stuff that I had from before people, because believe it or not, I had drones before the FAA even regulated drones.
Mm-hmm.
I had an old Phantom 3 with a GoPro strapped to it that was really only good for pictures, because this was before gimbals, or at least they were strapping gimbals to them. It was actually a Phantom FC40. And so,
one of the older ones.
Yeah. So I've got a whole library of stuff I can reuse. I don't know, it's not a priority, and I'd say out of the last 20 videos I made, I've used the drone once.
Okay, makes sense. And with what you're doing right now, you said listing videos are super easy. What is your most common video that you're doing, or are you trying to make it different all the time?
So I think that the format needs to be somewhat similar, because I've noticed that my audience, especially with the retarget, expects certain behavior out of one of my videos.
Mm-hmm.
But, listing videos are my crutch when I'm not creative. But one of the best things I've been doing is reaching out to local business owners.
Yeah.
For several reasons. One, I'm reaching out to an entrepreneur and an influencer in my local market, and I'm building a relationship with them and telling them, hey, I am a real estate agent, and guess what? I am going to do you a huge favor, and I'm going to try and advertise your business for you. So not only have I, helped somebody, which I feel good about,
right,
but I've also, built a relationship with somebody who has a lot of influence in the community. And then last, entrepreneurs usually are pretty wealthy. I've found that as I've networked with business owners, my average sale price has also gone up, because wealthier people buy nicer houses. And so, local business spotlights, especially local businesses that have a strong social following, are something I'm really following on, because then you're just leveraging their audience because they share it out.
Yep.
Local events are also huge. Any kind of current event that you can cover. I try to think of myself as a local news station about fun things. I don't go tell stories about people getting murdered. I'm the guy you want to come check out when you want to hear something positive.
Okay.
Now, one piece of advice I will give you, I've made videos about public parks.
Okay.
And a guy going to a public park with his 3-year-old and making videos on his cell phone, completely reasonable.
Right.
A guy going to the park by himself with a DSLR with a big fuzzy microphone and a tripod is real creepy and makes people uncomfortable.
So you ran into that a couple times, cleared out a park or so.
Well, this mom came over and goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm making a video." And so I ended up giving her a business card, and then I actually got her to go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think just because she was trying to make sure I wasn't lying to her, but I got a new subscriber out of it, so that was worth it.
That'll work. Okay.
Yeah. But
so she was what?
She was super uncomfortable and thought that I was, taking pictures of her kids or something.
I could see that. So I guess going back to the business side of this then, as far as like what's bringing in the business for you, because you said, your video, you've got that first 10 seconds. It's, the things about the house. Then you've got kind of the body of the video, and then you're not until the end. Or are you showing more information about yourself after that 10-minute snippet? Or
so 10 seconds, and then it just comes to me somewhere in the house, usually in the kitchen, or wherever the best light is usually. And I'll introduce the house myself, just like I'm talking to you right now.
It's a selfie video.
Holding my phone.
It's a selfie video. It's not a like behind the camera video then.
Correct. So the first 10 seconds is house, best parts of the house, and then turn it around, selfie video. I'll just talk to the camera. Hey, this is Morgan Franklin, your local Lexington realtor, and today I'm super excited because I'm standing in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that is unbelievably well priced. It's got a custom tile shower, these beautiful laminate floors. I can't wait to show you the rest of the house, but if you want to skip this video and watch, or go see all the details, click the link in the description below. Without any further ado, let's go check out the rest of this beautiful house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so from there, where are you sending them? Are you sending to a landing page? Are you sending to a website? Okay. And who are you using for that?
I use Instapage.
Instapage. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yep. I'm familiar with that. You could use Instapage, Leadpages, ClickFunnels. All three of those would probably work.
Yep. I've used them all. So Instapage recently made some changes that really stink because they put page limits on. ClickFunnels I like and I've used, but the problem is I find it more difficult to use than Leadpages or Instapage, just because it's more, I love Russell Brunson. He's
right. Yeah. He knows video, right?
Yeah. I mean, I read it. I've read Expert Secrets and what is Expert Secret and .com Secrets.
Yeah.
Both great books. I like ClickFunnels, but it's more for like a product business, and it's that super long form. And so I like my landing pages to be short. I give them 2 or 3 pictures.
Okay.
And then a little teaser and say, and so this is a huge change. My conversion rate, I used to withhold price and address information. I'd give them 3 or 4 pictures and say, give me your name, email, and phone number, and then I'll give you the information. And so the lead quality was absolute shit. I was at less than 0.5% conversion on those. Okay. I mean, so you're making 200 phone calls, or I'm paying Agentology $5 a call,
right?
$400 or $500 just on the call, not including the ad cost. And so even though I was getting super cheap conversions, the ultimate conversion ratio was just terrible. And so now I've switched to, if you go check out any of my videos, I give everything away on the landing page, and I ask for your information if you want to go see that house or you want to ask me a question.
How much did your lead flow drop when you did that?
Oh, I mean, it fell off the face of the earth. But when somebody picks up the phone and they call me or they give me that information, they are expecting my phone call. They want to do business with me. And instead of spending time on lead gen, I can go and make more videos.
Okay.
And so I've actually seen my production increase since doing that.
And because you're using, I would guess, a link click to get them over to your landing page. Your landing page is probably pixeled, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're generating you're establishing your pixel. You're getting more people pixeled as they go there. So even though they're not entering their information, you can now retarget them.
Yep. And so I've actually got 2 retargets. And so one of the main reasons I love video so much is
Mhm.
you can set a retarget to anybody that's watched 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% of your video.
Right.
So my happy spot is 25%. So if somebody's watched 25% of my video, they've seen the intro, they've seen my face, and they know who I am.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of been the happy place. And so that's one of the things. Like, I'll go play with my retarget audience. So if my retarget audience starts to thin out, I'll take it from 25% to 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden I've got 60,000 people
Right.
in my retarget group. Or I'll play with the, how long ago was it? So usually I like it to be 90 days and 25%. And if I need more or less, I can play with the timetable of when they last watched a video, or I can play with the duration.
Okay.
Because I really don't like to go longer than 6 months.
Right.
Just because, I mean, they probably don't know who you are anymore.
No.
Um,
No, they're forgetting you by then.
Yeah. So, but you can create 2 tiers of a retarget, because you got the people that just watch your videos, and then you got people that click on your videos.
Right. No, and that makes sense. And anybody who's still watching, if you're still watching, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And if you have questions, drop them down below so that we can get to those questions and go over those for you. Somebody said, hire a drone operator, better quality footage, no risk of a 10K fine. Yeah, that's probably a safe bet if you're not
Yep.
going to get your license.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue at all. Actually, there's a guy in my local market, and he kind of does all the listing videos for all my peers.
Mhm.
And so he had this genius idea, and I drove my pickup truck down Main Street, and he sat in the bed of that truck and operated his drone, and we flew it down Main Street. And
Oh,
then,
wow.
he called out all the local businesses with little, pinpoints,
Mhm.
and tagged the living daylights out of them. I think that video had over 80,000 views in 24 hours. And then he got the call from the FAA. And so, luckily, the FAA was very gracious and kind, and gave him an opportunity to correct that situation. But ever since then, yeah, I don't mess with the FAA anymore.
No, it makes sense. It's not somebody you want to mess with.
No.
And like you said, you're not doing a lot of drone footage at the moment anyways. But for
No.
the people that are, definitely get licensed. So going back to the video though, so you're talking 10-second views, 25% watch rates, and that's what you're using for your retargets. I guess have you seen a certain type of ad or a certain ad that you recently did that brought in a lot more clients than normal?
So, this is something that I play with constantly. And so, what was the Facebook inquiry that I always want to say Encyclopedia Britannica, but I know that's not right. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh gosh, the whole privacy scandal thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Now I'm stuck
You know what
on.
I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
We'll
I know.
we'll go with the, you know what I'm talking
Cambridge Analytica. There we go.
about. Yes, the Cambridge Analytica. So not only have they changed the demographics by which you can target,
Mhm.
but they have also, I think that the advertising algorithm has changed significantly, because my cost per view has gotten wildly more expensive. My cost per action is increasing. I don't, and I attribute part of that to the fact that more and more people, bigger brands, are using Facebook as an advertising platform. So there's more demand for, limited amount of space. And I think they've reduced the amount of space for advertising, causing the ads to go up. But also, I think they've changed, part of the advertising algorithm, because I used to be just video views, 100% video views exclusively. But then I played with clicks to website, and saw some really positive data come off of that one. But, you know, traffic and video views are where I mainly hang out. We were talking about this beforehand. I've tried lead ads, but it's been a year because it was such a debacle for me a year ago that I got burned and never went back. But I would say 80% of what I do right now is just trying to get people to watch my video, because I treat Facebook as my landing page, because I can use YouTube. I can use video view retargets to go back and find those people. So
Mhm.
back in the day where you had to get people to give you a name, email, and phone number to stay in touch with them over email, now I can do all of that inside Facebook. And I don't know if you're playing with messenger bots yet,
Yep.
but getting people to send you a message, and then, I'm sure, do you follow Ezra Firestone?
Not offhand. I don't think so.
Okay, you need to go follow the man, the myth, the legend, the one,
Okay.
Ezra Firestone. And so he's the one that turned me on to Facebook Messenger. And so, a good email list is going to have a 20 to 25% open rate.
Mm-hmm.
Your Facebook Messenger gets opened at 94%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why do I need to send an email if I've got Facebook Messenger at 94% and I can send you a piece of content through an ad where you're going to be hanging out anyway and you can engage with it, and I get better open rates anyway? So I mean, I don't know. That's one of the main reasons why I went away from forced registration on my
You are still
website.
keeping an email list, though, right?
Yeah, no, I still got an email list.
I say,
I mean,
we don't want anybody to think like you shouldn't keep an email list, and here's something that happened recently. My wife's in a Shopify group, right, and does some of the Shopify marketing stuff. Well, the group got shut down out of nowhere, right? And so now this guy just went from having a audience of 15,000 people to nothing, right? And so that's one of the risks that you run with Facebook. Let's say you get your ad account shut down, your pixel is now 0. Like having that email list is your only recourse to start, build up a lookalike audience, something like that. So I'd make sure everybody knows, like, don't get rid of your email list. But with what you're talking about, like, this is so huge, and a lot of people miss it. They think I have to gather everybody's information right away. But the reality is, with real estate being, such a long sales cycle, we don't have to catch it the first time.
Yeah. So my favorite analogy for this is, if you showed up for the prom and you went to go pick up your prom date, do you grab her by the wrist and holler in the bathroom and try and make out with her in the bathroom at her parents' house? Or do you go to dinner and then you go to the prom, and then maybe if you're lucky you get a kiss at the end of the night? And so a lot of people that are trying to get that name, email, and phone number, that's like, Mom, Dad, you guys stay here. I'm going to take my prom date into the bathroom to get a kiss. And it just think about how you would want to be treated and what you would enjoy if you were somebody on the other side of your advertising. And so if they build it up and build it up and build it up, and so they've seen you 100 times, when the time comes, they're going to call you. And so the majority of my business, especially my listing business, are people that just say, hey, we've been watching your videos for 2 years. You know what you're doing. I see you all over the place. I couldn't think of anybody else to list my home, and they were never a name, email, and phone number. They were probably in a retarget, but I didn't know who they were.
Right.
And I don't really have a relationship with them, but that happens at least once every 2 weeks. Somebody just comes out of the woodworks and says, hey, love all your content. My wife and I have been thinking about buying a house, or we've been thinking about selling our house. Could you come take a look at it, tell us what it's worth? And so when I first got started, I read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which, by the way, I think is 10 years, 15 years past its time. Like, a lot of it still makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the digital world.
No, I have to agree. And I watched the whole thing. Are you, which brokerage are you with, KW?
No, I own my own brokerage.
Okay. Your own brokerage. Okay. Perfect. And yeah, I watched, I think it was the thing with Gary Keller at Inman this year.
Oh, you mean the fight where Gary Keller acted like a toddler and wouldn't sit down because he was so pissed off because, we're going to focus on our agents. That's complete horseshit. You should be focusing on your clients. And if you think focusing on your agents is what you need to do to win, you just need to go ahead and go to the unemployment line, because you're going to lose.
Yeah, that was something. And if you haven't seen it, go look it up.
Yes, go watch it.
It was definitely worth watching. There are people like, that's probably like one of the most argued about videos in real estate right now.
Well, my favorite part is if you drink the KW Kool-Aid, you're like, Gary totally dominated that thing.
Right.
I've talked to 2 or 3 KW agents that thought it was the greatest thing ever, and that, whatever technology that Keller Williams is working on is going to save them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm with Keller Williams, and I have this new app. What is it? Like the Keller something? I honestly, I don't even completely understand what it is yet, and that's probably because I don't go to the office. But yeah, so I don't really know what the technology thing that's coming is yet. But I guess we'll see. I know they were working on a new CRM. We'll see what that looks like. So far, I have yet to see a single brokerage or broker that has a CRM that can do everything the agents need, right? Typically, you go to a CRM company to get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to it, I mean, still, you've got Gary's video with Brad at Inman, which has a ton of views, but I don't know if it has as many views as that. What's the name of the realtor who does the thread dance all the time now? Have you seen those? He just like every listing video, he's like doing the little dance in his video.
Was this the kid that jumped in, or young man that jumped in the pool out in California?
I think so.
Video?
Yep. I think so.
Yeah. So I got an idea for a listing video that I'm on the fence about. Here, I'll ask your opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a T-Rex suit, and I'm going to do the "In My Feelings" dance in front of my listing, and I'm going to get run over by a car.
I'm probably not the best person to ask because I love it. I'm like, I would watch that in a heartbeat.
I think it'd be a good clickbait. So you've got a T-Rex in my feelings, and you think that's the video, and then all of a sudden it gets hit by a car. Which, by the way, there's a video of some girl that was fake getting hit by a car doing the "In My Feelings" dance, and it looks real. Like I got down like frame by frame, and whoever edited it did a phenomenal job. And you just think this girl just died. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, she's dead. That's terrible." And then I researched it. So I don't know. We'll try it. We'll see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be funny, seeing a T-Rex run over by a car and then it turns out to be a real estate agent's listing video.
Yeah.
I'd watch that in a heartbeat. Somebody asked, where can we watch your videos? And do you find that YouTube works better than Facebook?
So you can go to my business Facebook page, which is Atlas Trust Real Estate. You can also search by the same handle on YouTube. Actually, will you please go like my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel? It would mean the world to me. It really, really would. And you can follow up and ask me questions there. I would love to hear from you. So the reason I upload to YouTube is because of the SEO good guy. So when I first started in 2014, and so I've got a little bit of background in like online business, and I ran a startup in the equine industry that was the biggest failure of anybody's life. It was a disaster, but I learned a shitload.
Okay.
So I started a WordPress blog, and I was writing a 2,000 to 3,000 word article to go along with every video I made.
Wow.
And like I was working my face off, and this was going to be the future, and this is how it was going to work. And then I realized that no matter how much content I put out, I was never going to beat Zillow. And so one day, and I'd just been posting videos to YouTube so that I could link them back into my article because I had to have somewhere to host them. And then one day I Googled best neighborhoods in Lexington, Kentucky, and lo and behold, well, there's my stupid video from 3 years ago. That hit the first page and was ranking higher than Zillow. And it hit me like a ton of bricks right then and there that my long tail keywords worked better on YouTube than they did on WordPress.
Okay.
And so I couldn't get my website to rank at all, but I can get a YouTube video to rank. And so like if you search Lexington, Kentucky real estate, and then you click on the video tab, like I am literally 29 of 30 results, or at least the last time I looked.
Wow.
Which, by the way, today or tomorrow is going to be episode 200 of the Lexington, Kentucky Real Estate Show. Pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. And now on your Facebook page, do you have links to your YouTube videos as well there? Or
never.
Okay.
Never. That's view suicide. So if you want Facebook to throttle your post and show it to no one, put a YouTube link in it.
Makes sense. So let's see. Your YouTube channel, is there like a channel URL for your YouTube so people can see that as well and subscribe and all that fun stuff?
I will throw out the comments of this
Perfect.
video after we get done. But if you just search Atlas Trust Real Estate, that's the handle.
Okay,
I think
I'm
it's
looking at it right now.
youtube.com/Atlas Trust Real Estate, I think.
And I'm looking at it. This is kind of interesting because you said, how many deals are you doing a year off of this video marketing?
I would say 80%. So, somewhere between 60 and 80 deals a year.
60 to 80 deals a year. And right now I'm looking and I'm seeing, your first 10, 15. When I go down, because you've got about 500 videos, when I go down 20 videos, most of your videos have less than 200 views. And you're doing.
That would be a huge video on YouTube. Most of them have
like
20.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, just in the top 20, as we scroll down, like, you've got 20 that have done more than that. So I think a lot of people have this misconception that if you're not getting a massive amount of views on your videos, you're never going to see results. But you've got a library out there of over 500 videos with, anywhere from like 4 to, on average, about 200, right? 4 to 200.
Yeah. There was one video about shipping containers, and it did. The last time I looked, it was like 60 or 65,000.
You're at 83,000 on that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's. And so I just got lucky with the algorithm and had shipping container in there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my videos have shit views. I mean, it's when somebody searches that specific long word key tail or keyword, long word key.
Long tail keyword.
Long tail keyword. Thank you.
There you go.
And so here's another little pro tip and hack. If you upload your listing video to YouTube 24 hours before you list it to the major syndicators, when somebody searches, because usually, or at least when I've been told, and this is the way that I search for a house, I go to Zillow and I find a house and I remember the address. And then when I want to find it again, I just type that address into Google and try and go find the house that way. And so if you put your video up on YouTube 24 hours before you actually list it to the MLS, and you put it in as the address of the house and then hyphen whatever your other keywords are, when somebody searches it, your video is going to come up first.
I love it. And you're outranking Zillow and Trulia and all that stuff just because you're beating them to the punch.
Yeah. Now, and you give it 2 weeks, and you'll be pushed down the page from like the first result down to like 5th or 6th.
Right.
But for that first like week to 10 days when your listing's the hottest and people are actually, look, they found it on one syndicator and then they start searching for it, you'll pop up top of the page.
Wow. That's awesome. And you have given out so many tips and tricks in this short video. We're at about 48 minutes, but you've given out like so much information. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure to put, #value. You can thank Morgan in the comments. Morgan, where can people? Yeah, and go subscribe, right? Where can people find find out more about you? I know you said you have a group which discusses basically real estate video.
Yeah. So I run a group called Clever Agents. So it was Clever Realtors, and then apparently the only time I've ever heard from the NAR is when they send me a cease and desist letter for using the term realtor, even though I pay them to use the word realtor. But whatever, I'm not going to fight them. So the name of the group is Clever Agents, and the public Facebook page for that is the Clever Real Estate Agent. And so it's 100% about video. I teach you guys how to make videos, how to edit videos, how to shoot videos, how to advertise videos, how to make landing pages, how to do retarget audiences, all the stuff that we've talked about for the last 45 minutes. And so it's absolutely free to join. And we've got, I don't know, we're sitting about 500-600 members. And we've got there's a couple folks in this group that are just mind blowing, that they've taught me things and I thought I was the damn expert. So we've got a lot of really, really sharp people in there. And then it's also so much fun because we've had, I don't know, just this week we had 3 or 4 people upload their very first real estate video ever to the group. And so they can get some feedback and they get a lot of positive reinforcement and ways to make it better before they release it to their audience. So I would love it if you guys came and joined the Clever Agents. You can find us on Facebook, and I'll send you a link or drop it in the comments below here in a little bit.
Perfect.
But a lot of cool stuff happening over there, and hopefully we can help some people sell some real estate.
Yeah, and I guess before we go, what is the trick? Because that is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, is they don't know how to get started. They don't know what to do in the first video. They're so nervous about everything.
Yep.
What's something that they could do today or in the next 24 hours to get their first video live, and where should they post it?
So the absolute easiest thing to do, and so the trick is, just upload. Just hit the upload button. Like, if you go back over to my YouTube channel and you go look at those first videos, oh my God, like, they make me cringe. They are so bad. Like, I'm embarrassed for them to exist.
Mhm.
But, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And so just start uploading. And so the absolute easiest thing to do is just to go to somebody's listing, even if it's not yours, and do a Facebook Live tour of the house. Think about what you're going to do. Think about how you're going to walk through the house, and you can do it in 30 seconds, and it just gets you used to it. And the best part is, because a lot of people will shoot a video and then they'll never edit it, or they'll have fear of hitting the upload button. And so with a Facebook Live, you don't have that inhibitor. And
so you're telling them just go live on your first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
This little dot right here, this little black hole, can be the most intimidating thing on the face of the earth. And so, just start talking to it. Maybe do a dry run and pre-record it. But don't get caught up in editing and putting your logo over the end, or hitting it with lower thirds, or worry about the color grading, or worry about a transition, or all the crap that goes into it to make it look Hollywood. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is getting your audience to know who you are, like you, and trust you, because that's when they're going to want to do business with you. And the rest of it's just a bunch of fancy shit that's going to stand in the way of you actually accomplishing that goal.
And where do they post that? Do they Facebook Live or YouTube Live?
Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, whatever your preferred platform. And so a question a lot of people always ask me is like, what's your preferred platform? I'm like, well, where's your audience? My audience is not on YouTube. I think I only have 600 subscribers, and I've been pounding this down for 2 or 3 years. And Instagram, I still just haven't figured out how to make it work yet. And I'm growing my audience there, but my audience on Facebook is 10 times bigger than anywhere else. And so I pour my time and resources into Facebook, even though I think Facebook's quickly becoming a dumpster fire of just BS. Hopefully this new algorithm change is going to clean it up. I really want to get into more Instagram, because I think that that's where a slightly more sophisticated client is, and maybe a slightly more affluent one, that I would, because I'd much rather sell a $500,000 house than a $100,000 house.
Right.
It's less work and it's more money.
So, what if you don't have a huge friend list? Can you pay to syndicate it on Facebook to a target audience, as I believe what that says?
100%. So that's the reason I love Facebook so much, is it's repeatable, because I can throw a little bit of money at it and make it repeatable. So I've actually never tried to make an ad for a Facebook Live. Can you do that? I don't know. I've never tried it.
Let's see. Well, I think if you wanted to use a Facebook Live for an ad, you'd have to after it was recorded, you have to use one of the little Chrome extensions for like Facebook Downloader or something like that. Yeah. Download the video, and then you can put it into an ad. I don't think there's a way to actually like boost or do a paid live.
Don't you boost? Don't you ever boost?
Don't you boost?
Don't you boost? Don't you do that? Don't you do that, Ricky Bobby?
Tell people right off the bat, don't boost. There we go.
Yeah. So yes. So what you would do is shoot a little single one-take video. Try and keep it to under 60 seconds. 30 seconds is better. So walk into the house. So you're walking around. You're showing.
Well, you're in a rehab.
Huh?
Are you in the rehab that you're working on right now?
No. This is my office.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's just from this building was built. So here's another fun fact. You know how you tell if brick is actual solid brick and old? See this little right there. See how those little bricks?
Yeah.
And then the wide bricks. So the little bricks are turned like this, and the wide bricks are turned like this. And so that's how you know that the building's old. So there's 2 or 3 courses of brick.
Makes sense.
And so this building was built somewhere, I think, like the late 1800s. So no, this is my office. But I
Okay.
mean, if you go to Atlas Trust Real Estate, you can see the flips. But back to
There
the
you go.
original question of go shoot a quick little video. Just take everybody around the house and then take your phone, turn it around, and say, "Hey, I'm Morgan Franklin, your local Lexington realtor, or whoever you are, whatever market you're in, whatever you want your call to be. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about it, please just give me a ring. My contact information will be in the comments below." And then that's it. And then you can just throw $10 behind it, very non-committal, hit the upload button, and just see how it does. And you'll be amazed at how well it works. Because one of the biggest things for me is, you know, I'm in the market that I grew up in. You know, I left for a while for, work after I finished college, but I have a huge network of people that I know. But, let's think about that guy that I used to run around with on the playground in fourth grade.
Right.
I haven't talked to that dude in 20 years, but that guy, because he had seen my Facebook videos, was one of the people that reached out to me. And just, even if it's only 500 people that you have in your friends list, just letting them know that, hey, I'm in real estate again, it's going to get them engaged and they're going to see these videos. And it just, it's the boiler room scene. Act as if you're the CFO or CEO of this company. Act as if you know exactly what you're doing. And by making these videos, I mean, when I really started making videos, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I wasn't a seasoned realtor. I didn't know, anything about what I was doing, but people just assumed that because I was always making these listing videos, that A, that they were my listings, and B, that I was an absolute expert on real estate because they saw me talking about real estate 3 or 4 times a week. And then the next thing my income or my sales volume tripled year over year the last 3 years.
And not to mention, like, what you just said right there was huge. I think a lot of people might have missed it, but a lot of people think these are your listings, and all you're doing is setting up a showing and just going and doing like a quick property tour. Is that right?
Yep. And so now you do want to make sure, at least in the state of Kentucky, we have co-marketing rules between brokerages. And so if it's outside of my brokerage or my previous brokerage, I always make sure that I have written permission from the broker.
Can you get that via email, I'm guessing?
Yeah. And in Kentucky, the advertising rules state that I have to note the listing brokerage and listing agent. And so I always have my hook, which is my little single line of text, like, "You won't believe this master bath." The body of the text, which usually I just copy paste the listing description that the listing agent wrote, skip a couple lines, and I say, "Listed by Joe Smith at ABC Realty Company, video by Morgan Franklin, Atlas Trust Real Estate, Morgan at Atlas Trust RE, 859-576-0801. So my contact information is the only one that's there, and my link to my landing page or whatever I'm trying to get them to do is the only one there. So I've complied with local real estate laws. And like, I shot a listing video for somebody else yesterday, and they were super pumped to come have me do it because I just saved them the $150 listing video fee. They show it to their clients, and their clients are probably kind of like, "Why is there some other dude that's not my real estate agent in this video?" But I'm super pumped that I'm getting free marketing. So everybody wins. I'm probably going to bring them a buyer, but at the end of the day, anybody that's watching the video, even if you explicitly say somewhere in the video that it's not your listing, people just assume because they only watch the first 15 or 20 seconds. As long as you don't plaster in big, bright red letters in the first 10 seconds, "This is not my listing, and I just like making listing videos," then they're just going to assume that it's your video, and they're going to, think that you're a real estate expert.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And like you said, it's free marketing for them. And a lot of people don't realize you could even do that for Facebook ads. It doesn't have to be your listing. You could be running listing ads or something like that for somebody else's listing as long as you get prior permission.
Yep. Well, and actually, if you're running through the IDX, and like, let's just say you've got a Real Geeks or a Conversion or whatever website you want. And so, by the way, I got rid of all my websites recently. We could go for 2 hours on that. But if you have one of those and then you advertise somebody else's property, you're completely, in compliance, at least in the state of Kentucky, you're in compliance with advertising laws, and you can
Yep.
advertise the living daylights out of somebody else's property and use their media, their listing photos to do it.
Yep, I've seen that in a couple of different states. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got one more question. Morgan, do you have an example of how you do this in your group? I mean, a simple walkthrough of the disclosure part.
A simple walkthrough of the disclosure part. So you can just go to Atlas Trust Real Estate and you can look at all of my example videos there. And so my group's about a month and a half old, and I'm actually working on a how-to video because this is actually the number one question I get asked is, how do I make a real estate video with an iPhone? And so that's something I'm working on right now. And so if you can't tell, I'm covered in paint because I've been flipping a house for the last 2 weeks. And I've kind of been ignoring my group, and I feel really, really bad about it. But I should be done with the flip this week, and then next week I'm going to put together a how-to video on how to make a listing video with your iPhone, how to shoot it, how to edit it, how to publish it, how to make a Facebook ad, the whole 9 yards, because I've had this conversation one-on-one at least 15, 20 times now. So, yes, I would be more than happy to answer all those questions. I think there's like 32 or 33 videos already in that group that I've put in, not to include all the ones that everybody else is putting in. And so it's growing super fast and we're getting a lot of engagement. But if you have a question that I didn't answer, I'd be more than happy to answer it if you just jump in the group. We'll get you approved real quick. And that video will be out by next Friday. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be out by next Friday. You're going to hold me accountable to it, right?
Sounds good.
Sounds
good. We'll hold you accountable to it. So next Friday, that'll be the video. And then which video was that again?
How to make a video with your iPhone.
How to make a video with your iPhone. Okay, so that's coming by next Friday. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, I know we could go on for like ever, so we're just going to cut it off at the hour. So anybody who's watching
for the next week.
Oh yeah. We haven't even got into, I mean, the nitty gritty on the retargeting stuff. So
talk dirty to me.
We could have a lot of fun there. So no, awesome. I want to just thank you so much for coming on, for sharing all this information. You guys, if you have questions for Morgan, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you want, go check out his group, or be sure to go check out his group. If you're doing anything with video, you should be in there, see what he's doing, see what you can learn. Maybe you'll have something you can teach the group. But at the same time, he's doing all kinds of cool stuff, and we barely scraped the surface on this live. So thank you so much again for being on here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being part of Six Figure Agents. I've actually learned a lot, and I appreciate everything you do in this group. And I hope we can do this again soon.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.